Hello everyone, Shroomraver here, and today I am going to be bringing you my team analysis video for Week 6 of Division 1 of Season 2 of the Pokemon Premier League. Yes indeed, lots of different terms to get in there. Now, to business. We're currently sitting at 5-0. We're at the top of the table. We are the only undefeated team in the division, which puts a lot of pressure on, especially when faced with our next opponent. We've overcome some very tough opponents. We've overcome some matchups that didn't look too favourable. But now, we have to face off against FC Eeveeton. Coached by newcomer to the league, Keyno, this will actually be controlled by his assistant coach. Keyno is absent for this week and indeed has been for last week. So FC Eeveeton are under the control of their assistant manager. And you may be thinking, oh, that's fine, you don't have to go against Keyno. He's a tricksy, good opponent, you know, it'll be good to go against his assistant coach. No. It doesn't quite work like that. Because Keyno's assistant coach is Lars. Scizor. And he is another tricksy little sumbitch. I don't envy anyone who has to go against him. And then we get into the team that he can bring. So, let me just take you down the 10 mons on the roster for FC Eeveeton. They are as follows: Latias, Azumarill, Cobalion, Entei Amoonguss, Thunderous Therian, Swampert, Kadabra, Regirock, and Drapion. Horrible. Keyno, I suppose, from now on will be saying Lars because he is the guy in charge of the team for this week. Lars has a phenomenal matchup against me. It's bad enough when you're going against a team who has a Pokemon that can destroy you. He has two. Azumarill and Cobalion run through my team completely. Now, Azumarill is a mon that's really kind of coming back into vogue in this kind of format. It was abandoned for a little bit over the past few seasons of various leagues because it was sort of seen as a bit too formulaic. You could tell what it was going to do. But it's coming back into fashion now in a big way, and it destroys my team. If he was to bring, for example, a Belly Drum set with the 3 moves Superpower, Play Rough, and Aqua Jet, and he gets that Belly Drum off, he sweeps me dead completely. I don't stand a chance. Similarly, anything possible that Azumarill doesn't take out is mopped up by Cobalion, who can also do the rest to most of the team. You know? He's got those 2 mons that destroy me, and that's not even factoring in Latias, Entei, and Thunderous Therian. Then he's got his defensive mons. A lot of those mons are very bulky already. Add into the mix the likes of Swampert, Regirock, and Drapion. And just for good measure, Amoonguss as well. You nearly forgot Amoonguss, how could I forget my beloved mushroom? And yeah, just for good measure, throw into the mix Kadabra, a mon with Magic Guard, can run those Focus Sash sets, not be taken out by a move due to hazard damage because of the focus, the Magic Guard. It's just not a good matchup. I'm going to have to dig deep with this one. The matchup is terrible. So, we are going to have to get a little bit clever. Without further ado, let me present to you the team I will be bringing to this match against Lars and the FC Eeveeton. So, there are going to be some very notable absences in this team. And you'll probably see the first one from the first thing I mentioned, because the first member of this team is going to be my Tyrantrum. Blue Lines, the Tyrantrum is back. Very similar set to the one we were bringing in Week 2 against Evelyn. We've got the Rockhead Lumberry going on, Head Smash, Dragon Claw, Earthquake and Rock Polish. We're not running Double Dance, we need to have the coverage of Earthquake. Max Attack, Max Speed, Jolly. Very standard stuff. And your first thought may be, well, that isn't a Victini. And you're not wrong, it's not. We'll come on to that in a little bit. Tyrantrum here is my win condition, straight up. It can do massive damage to everything he's got. Earthquake is added coverage to its dual stabs to take the likes of Cobalion. It'll hit Regirock. Drapion will take big damage from it as well. Swampert will take neutral damage. Amoonguss too. Head Smash and Dragon Claw are just very nice coverage moves to have. Very nice synergetic moves to have. They hit his team fairly hard. The only issue with Tyrantrum is its speed, which is obviously why I've gone jolly with Rock Polish. Here's an interesting tidbit for you. Keyno's, Lars's fastest possible Mon fresh onto the field without any boosts but with items involved would be Scarf Latias. Tyrantrum at +2 with a Rock Polish outspeeds Scarf Latias by 1 point. And that could come in very handy indeed. I expect Scarf Latias. I do, I really do. I think he's going to be bringing Scarf Latias. That's kind of what I'm prepping for. But Tyrantrum is going to be very, very useful, and it turns out there are a fair few things I can set up a Rock Polish on. Amoonguss I can set up on and take the Spore with my Lumberry. Same thing with Entei and any potential burns it might get. If something's choice locked into a bad move, if for some reason he's bringing Choice Thunderous, I can set up on that if it's locked into something that doesn't want to be hitting me too hard. Regirock, I can probably set up on that, maybe the Drapion if he's not offensive. So we'll have to see, but there are options there. There are options for me to set up with Tyrantrum. Excuse me. So yeah, that's the main plan. That's going to be sort of my win condition endgame kind of deal going on there. Set up a Rock Polish when I can see the opportune moment and try and go ham. So that's the first Mon on the team. Now, a preamble before we move on to the second Mon. Remember those two Mons I singled out at the beginning? Azumarill and Cobalion can wreck my team. And I don't really have any one Mon that can switch in on either of them. Which means I need some kind of offensive check. If I can't have a counter, I need an offensive check. And we've gone a little bit shroom with this one. We've gone from a little bit left field. Because the next member on our team is Chestnut. Nay, the Chestnut is here, and you may be looking at this spread thinking, what am I doing? Choice Scarf Chestnut is what I'm doing. Yep, I'm finally bringing it. I threatened to bring it on a few occasions already, but it is time for Scarf Chestnut. With Overgrow as the ability, Wood Hammer, Low Kick, Stone Edge, and Dragon Claw. Yep, unstabbed dragon coverage, we are bringing it. We got 44 in HP, max attack, 4 in each of the defences, and 204 into speed. What that allows me to do is outspeed anything on his team that is not scarfed, which is grand. Overgrow instead of Bulletproof. Not a lot of moves on the FC Eeveeton that will be blocked out by Bulletproof. Amoonguss's Sludge Bomb is one. There's a couple of potential Focus Blasters, that could be another. But other than that, there's not a whole lot, because I'm really not expecting him to pack Miss Ball on Latias, if I'm being honest. I don't think he will. So I don't see too much to gain from running the Bulletproof. So we're going to go with Overgrow, because it can at least power up the Wood Hammer, if I'm at low enough health. Yeah, Wood Hammer hits a lot of his team. It's very nice for the Swampert. If he brings Rindo Berry, it'll still hit it very hard. It'll also hit the Azumarill. Low Kick, really nice option. Has a chance to Oko Cobalion straight up. With a bit of prior damage, it will be doing that. It's also nice for the Regirock, I suppose. Stone Edge, that can hit the Thunderous Therian and a lot of other things on his team that aren't basically called Cobalion, Swampert, or Regirock. Dragon Claw, because otherwise I'm walled by Latias. So we've got unstabbed dragon coverage, because why the hell not? And it hits everything else neutrally that isn't Azumarill, so you know, there's that. Chestnut is going to be very nice for those two Mons that are massive threats to my team. It naturally outspeeds Azumarill, so there's that. And it can Oko with Woodhammer, it can Oko pretty much any iteration of Azumarill that Lars may want to bring. Cobalion, I don't expect Scarf Cobalion. If anything, I expect Life Orb, because that seems to be the set of choice. And yeah, he will not be expecting Scarf Chestnut. Low Kick with a bit of prior damage, as I say. I can bring it in, bluff a defensive set, he will hopefully go for a move, thinking that he can just do some damage. I'm expecting him to pack Aerial Ace on the Cobalion. And if he is, grand, I will outspeed him, go for low kick, and hopefully take him out. So Chestnut, I'm hoping to put in a little bit of unexpected work here. So that's enough of that. Let's move on to the third member of the team, which is going to be Empoleon. Bio of Cinder has returned to the team with the leftovers, Scald, Ice Beam, Grass Knot, and Stealth Rock. We are rocking a max defense set. This is kind of my only defensive answer to Azumarill. Any Azumarill that isn't packing Superpower, this Empoleon will take hits from at the very least. It's not going to be dishing out a massive amount of damage to the Azumarill, Grass not being the only super effective hit, and it's not going to be hitting very hard. Scald is nice just to try and grab those burns on it, but neither of us have our own reliable recovery, and I'm the one who's going to be getting the status on him. So if he doesn't pack the superpower, I can hopefully 1v1 him with Empoleon. Get rocks up whenever I can. His only form of hazard removal, I believe, is his Latias. So, excuse me. Yeah, I'll hopefully try and get rocks up when I can. Nice man move there, Scald, Ice Beam, very standard stuff. Grass Knot, useful for the Swampert, can hit the Regirock very hard. And yeah, it's basically the only move I've got for Azumarill, so yeah, why not? I believe it has the same 60 base power as any hidden power I could choose to give to Empoleon. So yeah, we're just going to go Grass Knot. So that's Empoleon. Fourth member of the team is going to be Lil Sizz the Scyther. We are rocking out with a Focus Sashed Scyther with Technician, Aerial Ace, Counter, Swords Dance, and Baton Pass. 32 HP, max attack, 8 defense, 12 special defense, and 204 in speed. This is a very interesting set, and it will serve one of two purposes. Unlikely to do them both. On the one hand, it is Sash Counter. If Azumarill is out of control, if Cobalion is out of control, if Entei is looking like a problem, I can bring it in, live a hit, go for counter, take out a threat. I've done it before, I can do it again. Did it last season with Registeel with counter. And it's not the move you expect to see on Scyther. Now, on the other hand, we have Swords Dance Baton Pass. And this is where we can sort of cycle back to Tyrantrum. Because if I can pass a Swords Dance into Tyrantrum on something Tyrantrum can set up a Rock Polish on, things will drop. They will just drop. +2/+2 Tyrantrum with only one turn of its own setup, that's grand. Now, the speed we have on here, we have 204 in speed, and that's very important because I have deliberately under-sped crept an Adamant Entei. Now, why on earth would I do that? If I'm right, and I think I am, Entei is a very nice switch into Scyther. Good natural bulk, and can destroy its face, basically. So, if the time comes when I'm in with Scyther and he's looking to switch into Entei, I can set up a Sword Stance and try and pass it into Tyrantrum, and this is where outslowing Entei comes into play. By outslowing it, Scyther takes the hit, lives with Sash, passes straight into Tyrantrum, who then only has to take one potential hit. If that's a Sacred Fire or a Will-O-Wisp, Lum's gonna pop, get up the Rock Polish, we're good to go. So that's the thinking behind that Scyther. And if it all goes to hell, then we have a potential +2 Adamant, max invested Technician Stab Aerial Ace, which hurts a lot of things, unless it's called Regirock, or I guess maybe Swampert. No, Cobalion will still take a big hit from it. So Scyther is kind of a jack of many trades. I will be using it depending on the situation. You know, whatever's facing me, Scyther will hopefully need to adapt to that, and hopefully will. So we'll see how it goes. So that's enough on Scyther. Fifth member of the team, as I scroll down, is going to be Mismagius. Sorting Hat is returning. Not the most successful member of the team in terms of KD, but it's putting in a decent shift. What we have here is a max special defense Mismagius with Icy Wind, Hidden Power Ground, Thunder Wave, and Will-O-Wisp with the Custap Berry. Interesting set again, I know. We're not packing Stab, we're packing that kind of Mamoswine-esque attacking moves. Icy Wind and Hidden Power Ground hit the FC Eeveeton very nicely neutrally. They may not be the most powerful of moves, but with Icy Wind able to get a speed drop, that could be very useful indeed. The main focus of Mismagius is to take a hit and get off a status onto something that is causing problems. It can tank a hit, any given hit from a Latias, and hopefully go for a Thunder Wave. Same thing with Cobalion and the Will-O-Wisp. Same thing with Azumarill and the Will-O-Wisp. I can take an Aqua Jet, even a Choice Banded one, get off the Willow, hopefully take another and start doing nasty things. Willow is also very nice for the Regirock, the Drapion, the Swampert. Thunderous T is a bit of an issue, but Icy Wind hopefully will be able to slow it down. And as I say, I can take any one hit. The focus of a couple of these mons is not to be tanking all of the hits. I need Empoleon to do that. The focus of Mismagius, and indeed the next one on the team, is going to be coming in and taking a hit maybe, and doing something to benefit the team. That's the main focus. Custap Berry is going to be very nice. The fact that I say Mismagius can take these hits, it can't take them well, because at the end of the day it's still a Mismagius, and anything hitting it on the physical side is going to be doing some pretty nasty damage most of the time. So if I can take a hit, get down to a low range of health, do something, and then use my Custap Berry, that would be fantastic. Statuses on the likes of those mons I mentioned are going to be very useful, especially if I want to set up late game and try and do things with Tyrantrum. So that's the thinking behind Mismagius. Final member of the team is going to be Sandslash. Painglin is returning. Once again, much as we did in the second game, again against Evelyn, we are bringing Assault Vest Sandslash with Earthquake, Stone Edge, Knockoff and Rapid Spin. 248 in HP, 76 attack, 172 defense and 12 in speed. Those 12 EVs in speed, incidentally, just in case he wants to try and speed creep me with a Azumarill, I speed creep his speed creep, because that's what we do. That is how we draft League. We speed creep the speed creeps. Earthquake, that's just a standard Sandslash move. Hits the likes of Cobalion, from whom I can take any one hit, probably two. Regirock, who it really can't damage Sandslash unless it's the Rogue Specs Hidden Power Water. Not gonna happen. It'll damage the Drapion as well. Hit the Amoonguss neutrally. Stone Edge, that's nice for Thunderous, and of course heightened chance of crit, always good. Knockoff, standard stuff, you know, knockoff is knockoff, it does what it does. And of course Rapid Spin, very useful, especially if I want to maintain that sash on the Scyther. Sandslash can take hits from the likes of Cobalion, it can take maybe one hit from Thunderous, it's possible to take two from a Timid Scarf if he wants to bring that. It'll take a hit from Regirock, Drapion, it can take something from Latias, you know, there's that too. Assault Vest Sandslash is fairly decent on both sides, especially if you invest heavily in defense. Again, not one of those mons that are meant to be tanking hits all day, especially with its lack of reliable recovery. It is meant to take a hit, having switched in, and then do something to benefit the team. So, that is going to be the team. Massive notable absences. No Victini, no Thunderous Incarnate, and on the defensive side, no Umbreon, no Mega Ordino. The only one I was considering was Mega Ordino. I was considering a ridiculous set that I'm not going to go into right now, because you never know when that set is going to make a reappearance. Who can say in this day and age? But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the team functions without those kind of linchpins. The massive defense of my two Wish Passers. I don't have any Wish Passing on this team. The huge pressure that Victini puts on, and the safety net that is Thunderous. This is a big test for this team. We're going up against a squad that has a massively good matchup against us, and we're not bringing some of the general threats that we have. I'm scared of this game. I don't want the streak to end. We're 5-0. I want to go 6-0. Can we do it? Normally I'd be like, yeah, of course we can. We can beat anyone. This is going to be a very, very difficult game. I am going to have a combination of being on point and maybe getting some hacks. Who can say, you know? But it's going to be hard, but we're going to give it an absolute best shot, and we're going to see if we can keep up this winning streak. So, look forward to that game. That will be going up tomorrow. We were on Showdown last week. We'll be back to Wi-Fi with the game going up tomorrow, as I say. Links will be down in the description to the PPL Twitter and YouTube. for all things PPL, all the news that you need, everything to do with transfers, everything from Division 2, which is of course running parallel to Division 1 this season. Everything you need to know about transfers and managers and everything will be in those links, so do make sure you go and check them out to stay up to date with everything going on in the league. Speaking of links in the description, I will put links to both Keyno and Lars, Keyno and Scizor. Their links will be down in the description too, as manager and co-manager, person I'll be playing. Make sure you check out their Twitter and YouTube. They've got some fantastic content. You'll be able to see Keyno's battles that he's had, and of course on Lars's channel, his team build from this week and indeed last week's game. So check those links out. But that's going to be it from me. Tomorrow will be the battle, so keep supporting Parasect Germain, guys, because we are going for the top. And with that, I guess that's all from me. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed. Guess with that, I'll see you next time. Laters.